opening statement, and open up for questions.
Well, obviously that was just an unbelievable game for women's basketball. Two really good basketball teams in an unbelievable environment. It's exactly everything you want, and obviously the good guys won in the end. So, Indiana is such a good team, and we have so much respect for all their weapons. But I thought our team really focused hard on the defensive end today. I think offensively we shot the ball very well. We only had 7 turnovers in this game. Over at their place, I think we had 19 turnovers. That was a big difference, a really big difference. So very glad, that I get to coach these women. And, Caitlin, we knew she had it all the time, right?
Is that a play that you drew up in the huddle or one that you've had in your back pocket for a situation like this?
We worked on it a couple times before, and we actually stole it from the Aces from this summer.
Caitlin, what was your perspective on the play? I mean, what did you see?
Well, to be honest, I think we wanted to go to McKenna and just go for the tie because, if you can go to overtime on your home court, you have a pretty good chance. And honestly, Monica set a really good screen, so I came off of it and, somehow I was kind of more open than I probably should have been. And I got the ball and not much time to find the rim, but turn and get it off at the same time and hope for the best. And it kind of spun around for a second, but went down. And, we've worked on that play a lot, and to be honest, I've made it a few times in practice, so that certainly helps too.
Coach, it's way too early for historical perspective, but maybe best women's basketball game at Carver since you've been here?
Yeah, it's got to be up there. I'm not very good at those comparisons or my memory, you know that about me. But it had to be when you have this kind of crowd and that kind of ending. It was such a clean game. It was such a well-played game by both teams. Again, I can't stress to you enough. Indiana is a #1 seed. They haven't lost since December. They're a #1 seed by far in the NCAA tournament. And so it just shows these women what we can do. And that's what I'm the most happy about is that, it just proved to them what we can do together.
Monica, that, as Caitlin alluded to, your pick was vital on that three-point shot. Could you describe, what your intentions were, if it worked to perfection, et cetera?
Yeah, well, we, like Caitlin said, we work on it in practice, and I remember in practice not setting it great and her not getting the shot, so I just kind of knew that that was going to have to be there. I told her during the huddle, really wait for it, let me come get there, and it just kind of worked out perfectly.
Would it have been cool if a game like that ended with a foul call that might have been a travel? And, just what was kind of the emotions after that play unfolds to the end there?
Yeah, in those moments you can't really worry about things you can't control, so just really making sure that we're running our X's and O's to our best of our ability, doing our best out there, and that's kind of all we can control.
Yeah, how big was it to get the 0.7 of a second? Because it was originally going to be 0.8 and then all of a sudden it's
I think it was big, but they can go to the monitor anytime under 2 minutes, and so I'm glad that they did. They needed to.
I was begging
but
for that.
Obviously,
I was going to say, you were putting
Well, yeah, when we went to K-State earlier this year, we kind of had a similar situation where we figured out after we watched the film that we should have had more time at the end of the game, and Monica ended up making the shot or getting fouled, one of the two. So I knew to go tell the ref, you have to go look and see if the time is right, and, it basically doubled at that point. And there's a big difference between 0.8 and 1.5 for me to get a shot off like that.
totally.
Caitlin, a game like this, on a stage like this, tons of little girls in the stands, even more watching at home. What does this do for the game of girls basketball in the state of Iowa and beyond?
You couldn't ask for anything better, and I want to give a lot of credit to Indiana because, to come in here and play as well as they did. I looked up at the board at the end of the game, and it was 18, 18, 21, 16. And that's what makes them so good. They have so much balance. You have to pick your poison and hope for the best. And but I think across the board, not only, great basketball players, but also great role models, especially these two seniors that are leaving us. And I've been lucky enough to be teammates with them, and they've taught me a lot. But, I'm all about growing the women's game, and I'm glad I gave a lot of something, little girls can probably scream about at the top of their lungs. And I can imagine that, when I was younger, I was doing the exact same thing watching on TV. So it was pretty fun.
Coach, I don't walk us through the celebration.
I'm sure that's not planned in that moment. You just spam it. But you kind of did the same.
I don't even know.
It's funny because she does that in practice too. Like that wasn't the first time that celebration has happened.
Don't
Yeah, she did the
expose me.
loop. She did the loop.
When we're running against the boys in practice, I do celebrate and stuff. So I don't know. I kind of just ran into the crowd and was just getting everybody hyped, and then got tackled by my teammates. But I don't know. It's a pretty awesome moment.
Was there anybody you were looking for there, or you just
No,
running?
I just ran.
She's fast.
She was doing
It's
the
hard to
same
catch up
thing
with
at the
her.
men's game
I
last night.
was running like around that area too.
Monica, we talked the other day about your matchup with Mackenzie Holmes. We talked about some things that you learned in that first matchup against her. How would you kind of assess your play today compared to last game?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm really proud of my defense the way I played today. I think we did a really great job of doubling, knowing when to double, who we can double off of, which is all matchups that Coach Blair gives us. We had those down, which is huge. And she's a phenomenal post player. She really has expanded her game from last year. I know she was hurt for a good stretch there, but anytime I get to go against a post player like that, I know it makes me better. And iron sharpens iron. So truly, I'm really thankful that the Big Ten has players like that I can go against and really improve my game for what we're going to see in March.
Lisa, you know, you look big picture at this day in a microcosm. You know, you had a college game day here, you had a sold-out crowd. So I think you set the Big Ten record for average attendance during the season. You have this kind of shot by that kind of player. I mean, what does this do for you, the program, everyone on the stage, just everyone who follows women's basketball?
Yeah, I mean, it's just part of our story. We keep talking about, we're writing our own story, and this team is amazing. And honestly, I feel like this is part of our growth, being able to get game day, being able to have sold out crowds. I mean, people talking about women's basketball around this state and people being excited about women's basketball around this state. It's what you dream about, right? It's what you want to have happen when you first get to a place as you dream about this. So, very thankful.
Lisa, what was the moment like first when you first walked out and saw the crowd for game day, and then what was the moment like when you saw Harper come out there?
Oh, Harper was the one that broke my heart. I mean, she's such a great kid, and we've been around her for a long time. And, it was Megan and Tanaya and Alexis that went over to the Ronald McDonald House and spent time with her and really started that relationship like 7 years ago. And it's a gut punch because, she got re-diagnosed, and that's pretty emotional. That's a tough one. We really feel close to her. And I know these guys missed a year because of COVID, of being around her. But she signed a letter of intent, and I have that picture in my office of her and I, and her signing her letter of intent, and she has a locker in our locker room. So she's a really special kid. And if you can't come out and play your guts out for a kid like that, I don't know what you can do.
Did you have trouble communicating that last play? I mean, I don't think I've ever heard you this hoarse. I mean,
I've got a little bit of a cold, so it came on like 2 days ago. So these guys were so good at being patient with me and really locking in and listening, and that was really helpful.
Lisa, I saw the TV replay of the shot of you when Caitlin's shot went in. You looked like you were dazed. Were you?
I think I said a quick thank you to God. Honestly, I really do. I mean, it was, one of those things that you just, you dream about, and for her to make this shot, she's made so many of them in practice and like that. But, that's truly what stories are made about, dreams are made about. And so I'm just so thankful, honestly. The people were here. It's on a national stage for these women. It's just, I know it sounds boring, but I'm just incredibly grateful.
For Monica and McKenna, this is your last, well, not necessarily your last game. You're going to have NCAA tournament games here, but senior day, to have the game unfold like this, the crowd being full, what does that mean to you guys, playing in your final games here?
I mean, you couldn't ask for a better chance, a better opportunity in front of your sold-out crowd. It's something that any little kid dreams of. It's something that I dreamt of, and it's really surreal, honestly. And to win and have a player like Caitlin is just amazing as well. So
Yeah, I feel really lucky to have played through arguably the most influential time in women's basketball. Like from when I started to now, the growth has been absolutely unreal. So being able to end and kind of leave this program in a place where I know it's in such great hands, and the growth that's happening to it on a national level is so big. It's so special, and just knowing that, plus knowing I have a home here. This is my home away from home. Knowing that I have all that, it's wild. It's wild. I haven't even really been able to put it into words quite yet.
Were you expecting them to miss the second free throw intentionally?
I don't think, I don't know, because we're going to call a timeout no matter what. Now, with advancement, that changes that a little bit. So it did not, I did not think they were going to try to miss it.
You guys fell behind there briefly in the fourth quarter, and you called a timeout. What sort of message was there, and were there any technical problems going on, or just sort of a calming down?
No, we did change our defense at that point. We changed up our defense. We kind of just stressed again what we wanted to try to achieve on offense. And, you know, yeah, I was trying to, you know, break the momentum a little bit, certainly.
Caitlin, I think every little kid, from the time they pick up a basketball, makes a shot, and then goes running around in their driveway or backyard. Can you remember the first time as a little kid you hit a shot like that, and to today feel, you know, like being that kind of little kid?
Man. I've been like, those are the situations like I would put myself in with my two brothers out in the driveway. Like, that's what we would do. Like, and that's still what I do. Like when I come in the gym and shoot by myself. Like, those are the situations like you dream of and want to be on. You know, and I'm lucky enough to be able to do it for this team and in front of 15,000 people that want to come and scream about it. But to be honest, I've hit a few like buzzer beaters and things like that, but nothing to like that extreme with the circumstances that what they were for us. That's definitely number one, and you know, we're just trying to get the win, and I'm glad the three put us one up instead of tied and going to overtime.
Coach, can you talk about coming back from, you know, the Maryland loss was just a tough, emotional loss, and it seemed like you guys put that completely in the rearview mirror to be able to play. Just is that the toughness of this group to be able to do that?
It has to be. I mean, you know, I just tried to convince them that was an anomaly. You know, that was, you know, it was a bad game on the road to a really good basketball team. And, I mean, I believe that these women can hit shots. Look what we did tonight, you know, 39% from three-point range. You know, and really it was my fault in that game and the way that we lost because I didn't have them prepared for that defense. So it's not on them. That was on me. And quite honestly, you know, I just wanted them to focus on this next game and getting ready for this next one.
As a player, just your coach, your head coach, obviously, just, you know, it's really hard to beat the number 2 team in the country. What can you say about, you know, your coaching staff and your head coach and how she helped you?
Yeah, well, even
devise
her.
a plan for
I mean, yeah. Well,
in this season.
Beating the number 2 team in the country twice in one season is kind of crazy in itself. But even just her leadership, like her admitting to making a mistake in the Maryland game, like she just did, like that's what great leaders do. They take the blame for things, and that's kind of, and it's not just all her fault. She's just saying that. But it's just, I mean, obviously we're the ones on the court. Yeah, yeah. It just. There's never been better role models of what it means to be strong women leaders in a position, in coaching position where men rule. So it's been such an inspiring thing to see, and knowing like we have engineers on our team, future doctors, future dentists, going into fields that are male dominated. So it's so big and so influential for us to see her making waves like we never thought we'd ever see.
Coach Caitlin said that she thought the ball was going to McKenna. What was kind of the priorities as far as we're looking here first, looking here second? What, you know?
I don't know if I want to give that up for the next time we have to use that. But yeah, I mean, she was one of our options. She was one of our options.
Monica, you guys go in. I mean, you are the defending champions of this tournament, and can you just talk about going into this tournament, what it means to you, and how you kind of carry this momentum into that?
Yeah, I mean, I think you kind of have to flip a switch when tournament time comes. The regular season doesn't really matter anymore. As fun as it was, we have a 24-hour rule. It's really special for me to have that in Minneapolis, just being able to kind of get back to my home state and stuff like that. But it's a really grueling, competitive 3-day, however long you're there, stretch. So just mentally getting as ready as you can. At this point in the season, everybody knows your play calls. You know even other players by name, basically, on the scout. So it's truly just a grind there, and it's so much fun, though. There's so much joy in it, too. So just knowing our group has been there, we've been to the championship and lost, we've been to the championship and won. We've had to do a 4-game stretch, a 3-game stretch. We just have so much experience in that situation that I'm really excited to be able to go up there.
Coach, how important was it for you guys to open up on those runs in the both halves, especially against a team
or defense like Indiana?
Yeah, I thought it kind of, we came out and we made a statement early on the offensive side of things, and really, quite honestly, the defensive side of things too. But yeah, we know Indiana is a great defensive team, one of the best defensive teams in the Big Ten. So for us hitting those shots early, I think it was kind of an awakening for Indiana that we're here. We know we told the team, we can't be Big Ten champs, but we can beat the Big Ten champs. And that's what we wanted to do today.
Either Coach or Caitlin, first quarter you ended on a driving basket. Second quarter you score at the end. 2 free throws at the end of the third, and then obviously that, we know how it ended. Just, you as a closer,
Yeah, I think I know, like, this team's going to turn to me in those type of situations, and it's not anything that I shy away from, If you want to be one of the best players on the best teams, those are the situations you have to kind of rise to, and trust me, I've been in plenty that haven't gone my way too. So, that's the game of basketball. It's just like, how are you going to respond? And, I'm lucky enough that my coach and my teammates have the confidence in me to be in those situations more than anything. But honestly, I didn't even realize that, and I think we've done a really good job this year, like managing end of quarter situations and end of game situations. So we work on those a ton in practice, and they're really valuable. We want to get 2-for-1s. We want to be able to take the last shot. So I think that speaks to the coaching. Like, we have certain things we want to get to at the end of quarters, and it really does matter at the end of a game.
What was last night like for you guys? You knew this game was sold out 3+ weeks ago. Game day's coming. You're playing number 2 team in the country. You're number 6. Did you get a lot of sleep? Was it easy to sleep? Was it hard?
Yeah, it's definitely an experience, that's for sure. But I think that we've been in this situation before. Last year was very, very similar against Michigan, and so having that veteran squad and having that experience is definitely helpful in situations like this. And I think that we definitely showed our composure right out the gates. It was 10-2 or something right at the beginning of the game. So, I just think that it's so awesome to show our maturity in situations like this, and it's really nice to get this win right before we head into March. So,
Caitlin, your coach alluded to your reaction when Sanford made that shot last night. Was that just a dress rehearsal for today? What was the situation last?
Except we won. Peyton, come on. I know he couldn't win it, but no. We go to a lot of the men's games, and that was probably one of the most unreal basketball games I've ever witnessed and not been a part of. I think their fight and the way they played was pretty incredible, and a lot of those guys are always in the stands watching us too. So we're lucky to have like a men's team that supports women's basketball the way they do, and I think it just speaks to the whole community. But yeah, I ran around the baseline just like I did after I made my shot. So, but no, that was pretty incredible. One of the best basketball games I've ever seen.
Ending
personally.
was amazing.
Yeah.
Caitlin, last time against Indiana, you had 8 turnovers. You didn't shoot as well as today. What sort of adjustments did you make taking care of the ball and creating better shots for yourself?
Yeah, I knew we probably weren't going to win if I took 28 shots again. So, I was trying to, take the ones that I really needed to. And I thought, especially in the second half, I penetrated the ball a lot more. I think in the first half, I maybe shot a few too many threes. But Coach Butters talked about, since we've been preparing for this game, is we have to take care of the basketball. They're too good to give them free possessions. That's just free shots that we're not getting. And 2 turnovers is really good, so I'm happy to see that. But definitely an emphasis.
All right, guys.